Hi, this is Donna from Faded and Forgotten History. Thanks for joining us. Today we are at Little Mountain Presbyterian Church on the Abbeville Highway in Abbeville County, South Carolina. If you're like me, many times you've ridden by here and wondered, why is it named Little Mountain Presbyterian Church? Where's the mountain? So today we're going to answer that question. Thanks for joining us and for following along on our adventure. So we're on a old road bed that comes back behind the church. The church does still use this occasionally. It is private property. We were shown this by church members and it was okay. We received permission to document it. But the Little Mountain Presbyterian Church is actually 236 years old. It was organized in 1789. This was originally called God's Mountain, and today we know it as Little Mountain. The cemetery that's down here on this hillside, I wondered at why it was so far away from the church, but come to find out, the original church sat on the mountain. It's a log structure, so the cemetery was actually located close by at the time. Now the new larger cemetery is located beside the present church, which is closer to Abbeville Highway. In 1806, members moved down from the hill and built a second log church on the site where the present church is now built. And a wood frame church was built in 1859. Then a larger T-shaped church was built in 1920. And the present church, 1980, which is a brick structure. So here we're coming up on one that is an old fieldstone marker. Actually a pretty good sized one. Right behind it, another stone, more than likely marking a grave. We're going to come through here. There's actually several. Here's one on the hillside over here. And then back over here. So these would have been the original members of Little Mountain Presbyterian Church. Just dotting the hillside. Got a large one here. Over here. There. So this hillside actually is leading up toward the top of the mountain. Here's more. There's some here. And just a row across here. And then back behind them. There's some. We climbed over a tree and found a few more in this section. There's a little small one here. Looks like there's some initials here, maybe W, R. W, R. And then one here. M, N, R maybe. It's just initials. That's what it looks like to me. Here's one here that's hard to make out. Just about disappeared. And then one beside it. That one either. this is partially underneath the tree, but it looks like an outline of possibly a grave. Some more stones here and here. But so much of it is covered up in these trees, which is what we've seen so often in the cemeteries that we're exploring and documenting. So we're going to continue on up the hill, or the mountain, as it's called. So now we come to where the road kind of circles around and comes out here. So we're going to head up this way, which is apparently where the original, or close to where the original log cabin that was used for worship was located. Now Little Mountain Church comes up here at Easter and has sunrise services on the top of the mountain, which I'm sure are very beautiful. I even heard they put a piano in the back of the truck and brought it up here so they could have music. So this will be the pulpit area. This beautiful wooden cross behind it. We're on the top of the high area. You can see looking down the side how it just drops off down below. A place where it looks like maybe boards have been set to make benches for people to sit on during the services. Round area here for rocks. This looks like a fire pit type area. And we're going to walk up here behind it. There's some really large boulders kind of toward the top of this little mountain, or God's Hill as it was once called. It's very rocky here. You can tell by the ground. An little cross here. Beautiful old cross. See how high it is up here. Looking down. Robert's already up here looking at them. You can tell how large they are. Yeah, it looks like the mountain still goes up. Like a little cave area there. Nice home for an animal. So we're heading back down now. Definitely gets really higher than you would expect just by riding down the road and looking back behind the church where the woods are. So that answers my question. Why is it named Little Mountain Presbyterian Church? Because it was actually a little mountain that it once stood on. And now it's just invisible from the road. Back on the old roadbed, heading back down the mountain. We can hear thunder rumbling in the distance. Last time we were here, it was a rainy day. The Flemings were nice enough to walk with us through here and give us some information. So now we're heading back up toward the church. and it's just interesting to imagine what this looked like before the trees and things in here were all grown up, and you had a log place of worship sitting up on a hill. You could see it as you come down Abbeville Highway or Old General's Road. And now it's so different, and that part of history is just hidden from view. We're here at the newer cemetery, which actually still has some really old graves here, and behind the present day church. Thank you for joining us today on Faded and Forgotten History. Hopefully you learned a lot and enjoyed our video and formed a new appreciation for Little Mountain Presbyterian Church and have a few of your questions answered. And if you like our videos here on Faded and Forgotten History, make sure you like and subscribe and share with someone else who has an appreciation for history.